for a pregnancy vlog. Just kidding, it's a blanket. No, I'm not pregnant. But I have been pregnant. It's a while ago now. But I actually recorded little video snippets for friends and family when I was expecting Alice. And I may have downloaded those from my secret personal Facebook group that I was using for baby updates before I started ParentXP, and put them all together in a little vlog for you. Because, I don't know, it's interesting to me. Maybe it's interesting to you. I mean, effectively, I was toying with the idea of vlogging actually since I was pregnant with Elin. That was when I found YouTube and I found women who were vlogging their IVF journeys. Both Elin and Alice are IVF babies. So I found women who were vlogging their IVF journeys and then their pregnancy journeys. And I loved it. I binged on these videos. I thought they were so amazing. And I kept wondering, can I do this? Could I do this? Could I be one of these people? And then Elin was born, and it was a horrible birth, and all of her disabilities are because of birth brain injuries, birth oxygen deprivation brain injuries. So that put rather a damper on my plans to vlog, didn't it? And just settling into life with a severely disabled child, and yeah, a lot happened. And so I didn't start vlogging, and I did not vlog my pregnancy with Alice at all. And then eventually, as you know, I started vlogging when Elin was almost 6 and Alice was 2. So just over, it's about 4.5 years ago now, or approaching 4.5 years ago, that I actually started vlogging. But I'd been thinking about it for a long time before then. So yeah, since before Elin was born, I'd considered it. I did record these little snippets. They're just kind of one per trimester, really, for friends and family to show the bump and let them know how I was getting on. And I was very restrained and very censored in what I shared. Because I fucking hated being pregnant. And I look at those videos and I'm like, oh, I look so happy about this. I hated it. It was awful. It was horrible. Oh my God. Oh, so bad. Flashbacks. Yeah. So, I mean, basically, and this is, I don't think this is something you can prepare anyone for. It's something that you kind of have to experience. But there's a lot of hormonal changes going on when you're pregnant, and you go a little bit insane, and you don't, I mean, how you feel is very individual, but you're gonna feel different about a lot of things. And you're not really gonna know and understand this until you do it yourself. And then you have pregnancy after a traumatic birth, as I did with Alice. And I think it's similar to pregnancy after loss, that it's awful. It's horrible. And I don't think that I am overreacting if I said I was going through severe PTSD when I was pregnant with Alice from the birth of Elin. Because with Elin, I went through a healthy, normal pregnancy, apart from the fact that I hated being pregnant and I was in excruciating pain. But as far as the baby was concerned, it was a healthy, normal pregnancy. And I ended up with a baby who almost died and who is now severely disabled. And then I got pregnant again with Alice, and apart from hating every second on it and being in excruciating pain, as far as the baby was concerned, it was a healthy, normal pregnancy. So, and I knew how wrong it could go. So it was really, really challenging being pregnant again. I don't regret it. And it wasn't an oopsie. As I say, both my children are IVF babies, so very, very carefully considered conception with Alice. And, you know, I wanted a second baby, and I'm really happy I went through with it, but it was not an easy, straightforward journey, I guess I'm trying to say.
I have absolutely no idea if I've managed to aim the camera and myself right. I think so. For those of you who want to see the belly, here it is, my 14-week bump. So the baby's that big, and I think my uterus comes up to here. It's nowhere near my belly button yet, so the rest is a stomach with delusions of grandeur. But hey, it's a cute bump. These, I'm wearing non-maternity jeans today. They are definitely not made up all the way, because I can't. Okay, there it is.
You know what? I was showing early. I was showing so early. This is a true story. I was showing so early that I was offered a seat on the tube while the embryo was still in a petri dish at the IVF clinic. It's true. It is true. IVF hormones make you really bloated. But yes, I was genuinely offered a seat on the tube and the embryo was still in a bloody petri dish at the bloody IVF clinic. It wasn't even inside me. It's like, oh, you look pregnant. Do you want to sit down? Yeah, I do. So they say second pregnancies show faster than first pregnancies. Oh my god.
Welcome to bump size update. I am 20 weeks in 3 days, so I'm nearly halfway through. This is how big it is. It's been growing. Certain other assets have been growing, as we may have seen by a boob photobomb in a photograph. Baby, I believe, is growing. It keeps kicking. It kicks in sort of different areas. I've felt kicks up to here now. It's quite nice. I feel most of them down here. In maternity jeans, these are comfy. These are really good. I love these. I might have to get myself a pair in another colour or something. It's I feel today I'm very grey, but there we are. We are at Keach, first morning. This is our bedroom. So there's Rob's bed. There's an empty bed. There's my bed. Yes, we are in a room with 3 single beds. And yes, we have picked the beds furthest away from each other because, quite frankly, if you are used to sleeping in a Super King, that's what you do.
Yeah, so this second update, this 20-week update, and I mentioned that we were at Keach. Now, Keach is a hospice, and yes, they do offer end-of-life care, but they also offer respite care for families with severely disabled children. And basically, Elin had just had her first hip surgery, and oh my god, that is a story for another time because that was a horrible operation. So I was 20 weeks pregnant. Elin went through a very, very bad operation with blood transfusion and pain trauma and intensive care treatment and I was in serious pain already at this point and actually struggled to walk already at this point, and I'm arguing with doctors and nurses because nobody is helping my child who is having really, really bad post-surgery reactions, and it was awful. But anyway, eventually she was stable enough that we could go into Keach and stay there for a few nights, so she had continued care and Rob and I got a bit of a break. So that's why we were in Keach. And in this different room, and it was nice. It was needed, but it was difficult getting there. And yeah, again, PTSD and pregnant, and then child in a botched operation, and let's not.
I've been recording this a few times. See which one we take. I hope this is going to be the one we take. I'm in my 3rd trimester. Depending on which timeline you're asked. I'm either 2.5 weeks in, 1.5 weeks in, or half a week into my third trimester. So I thought I would show off the bump, which is here, and it's big. I say that all the time. I went to see the midwife yesterday, so she measured my fundal height, and I am measuring a week ahead of where I should, where I am, which is not a worry. But when I say my belly's big, I'm not imagining things, alright? Yeah, it's here. I have a lot of people who are saying that I haven't put on any weight and it's all bump. That's blatantly not true, but it's very sweet, and I appreciate it. There are certain other assets beginning with a B as well that I'm working on, some slightly higher than others. I'm pregnant, I'm supposed to put on weight. It comes with the territory, so I've put on about 10 kilos since I got pregnant, according to the scales. And it's fine by me. No stretch marks, but I didn't get stretch marks with Elin either. I thought I had them this morning. I had marks here, but I think that was just marks from my dressing gown. No varicose veins or other unpleasant things, which is also quite nice. My pelvis is hurting. Pelvic girdle pain in pregnancy is an absolute bloody bitch. I use crutches when I'm walking outside, but it has helped. It's taken a lot of the strain off having those, and I'm capable of walking up the stairs in the evenings, which is very nice. There are many ways to keep romance alive in a relationship when you're pregnant. I think the main way in which I keep romance alive in our relationship at the moment is by not sleeping in the same room as my poor husband. Because I go to bed and then I toss and turn and grunt until I'm in a comfortable position, and then I need to go up and wee. And then we repeat that a few times, and when I finally fall asleep, I'm snoring. So I'm keeping romance alive by not sharing a bed with my husband. I'm not very comfortable at night. Belly's heavy. I have to have something underneath it to support it when I'm lying in bed. But I hope Rob appreciates it anyway. I'm sure Elin appreciates having me nearby. Spoilt little brat. I'm actually seriously considering giving Elin the double bed and taking her hospital bed, because hospital beds are really comfortable. Yeah, I'm not going to put it past me that will happen before the end of this pregnancy. 2.5 months to go. See how big I am at the end of it.
So I think this video must have been 28-ish weeks. I'm not saying exactly how many weeks pregnant I am in it, only that I am, however far into my third trimester, depending on what you're counting by. So yeah, I think it must have been 28-ish weeks. And at this stage, I'm on crutches. I'm commuting less and less. I'm in pain. I'm so uncomfortable. I know I don't say it and I look fine, but I was really not feeling well.
Okay, I hope I've got that reasonably well aimed. Happy New Year from BB8 and me. This is a month to go till due date. Actually just under. Due date's 31st of January. It is the 2nd of January, so one way or another, within 29 days, this uncomfortable little bugger is out. So yeah, that's it's a bit big. Again, bigger, rarer. There are some times I look at it and I'm going, no, it's not too big, and there are other times I look at it and I go, whoa, whoa. Today is definitely a whoa kind of a day. Haven't got much to say. I'm uncomfortable. I have a lot of practice contractions. I don't sleep very well. I can't take proper breaths. Pregnancy is gorgeous. It's beautiful. Blooming, I think the word we're looking for is. Makeup's a wonderful thing.
Just a few days before that last video clip was recorded, I'd celebrated my 40th birthday, and one of my friend's little boys who was there I think he must have been 6 at the time, and oh my God, out of the mouths of 6-year-olds, right? He'd seen me and he had just gone, "Whoa, you're huge!" And I'm like, "Gee, thanks." Yeah, but I look at that now and I go, "Whoa, gee, I'm huge." Yeah, so massive. I was no longer commuting into work at that point. God, when did I stop commuting completely? I must have been working from home. Yeah, it must have been at least a month before that I stopped commuting completely because I was in too much pain. I couldn't make it into work. At this point as well, I changed hospitals. I was not happy with Bedford Hospital, which is my local hospital, obviously living in Bedford. I felt that they didn't understand what I was going through, what my wishes were, or anything like that. And I felt really dismissed. I had doctors who went, "Oh, so you'll want a C-section." Why? Well, your previous birth, you'll obviously want a C-section. Actually, I don't. Huh, okay. And then just ignored it. So I switched to Luton Hospital. And Luton Hospital I have a lot of time for. I think they're really good. It looks horrendous, it looks run down, but they're actually very, very good there. And it's one of the country's best neonatal intensive care units. And it was they who saved Elin's life. And so I switched to that at 36 weeks, so a month before Alice's due date. And I got this amazing consultant there who actually understood when I said I want to try and give birth naturally. She understood that for me it was a question of seeing if I could. If my body would do it, if I needed to understand what a natural birth was like. And I might go, if you're interested, are you interested in a vlog where I compare their births? At all? I'm happy to do that. But yeah, this consultant said, I will let you try to give birth naturally, provided you go into labour before your actual due date. But I'm not letting you go even a second over your due date. So if you get to 40 weeks, I'm doing a section. It's like, okay. And then I did go into labour 12 days early, actually. And I got to experience what labour was like and going through that whole thing. And it ended up in an emergency C-section anyway, because Alice was lying face up. She was sunny side up, my Alice, I think. So we got to 9 centimetres and that's where I stalled. But yeah, I actually got to experience that. And then, okay, so she was a C-section as well. And now she's here.
Here is Alice, a week old. Yes, and awake. Which comes as a bit of a shock to her system because she was just asleep, because she'd boobied herself to sleep. Hello, sweetie. Hey, good man. Hey, Henskling. Yeah, so I actually had this idea that I was going to do a final bump update, as it were. But she decided to exit a little bit quicker than I was expecting, so we can get a 1-week-old Alice instead, which is actually an awful lot more exciting than a bump. So let's see. Here she is, my little lady. She is not big, but she's tiny, and she's fantastic and perfect. Yes. And we call her Pixie, and that has got to do with these pointy ears of hers. She's got pointy ears, so she's a little pixie. She's a little pixie. Yes, she is. And probably can't see in this light. Very, very dark blue eyes. They look black here in this light. Elin's eyes were slate grey, but Alice's are actually blue. And we think, again, God, it's so hard to tell. It's so hard to see. She might have brown hair. It might actually be brown. But then her eyelashes are completely transparent. They're white. So I don't know if she's going to go lighter, if this sort of brownish hair is going to fall out and she's going to turn out white blonde, or what's going to happen really. It is definitely not red.
Elin had more red nuances in her hair, and she turned out to be mousy blonde. So yeah, there's the other ear. It's not quite as pointy as the first one. But here she is, Alice Linnea, my little perfect darling. Yes, she is. Oh, hey Alice. Hey Alice. Ah. And she might want more boob. She always wants more boob.
So that's it. That was my pregnancy with Alice. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again very soon for a more general update on where we're at now. Thanks for watching. Bye.